What is up, you guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel, Strive CDR. So, this is the first time I ever do this actually. I just want to kind of give you guys a bit of an update. I know this video is going to drag on, so I'm going to try to keep it within the first 5 minutes before I ramble on about like all the random mini clips of gameplay and cinematics of the games that I played since I started my YouTube channel back in August 2020. So ever since the whole pandemic came, I kind of had a lot of free time, which is why I started this whole YouTube channel and wanted to play games and share my experience with you all. So just kind of want to say thank you to all my subscribers and anyone who's liked my videos. Those of you who have commented, I did my best to respond, but still, want to say thank you for that. Anyone who's new to my channel, well, it kind of came at a bad time, but let's not make it too negative. So, anyways, where to start? Okay, so for the most part, I will no longer be able to do full walkthroughs just because my time constraint doesn't allow me to, and I don't have enough time to record, edit, upload, organize everything, and set a specific schedule. I still have a social life out of this, like out of my no life. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but I will keep my channel active by actually still buying games. Obviously, none of this is given to me by developers. I don't get free hookups. Literally all of this comes out of my own pocket. I pay for my games, and I try them out. If I like them, I like them, and if I don't, I don't. It's one of those things where there's trial and error as well. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm actually gonna do maybe the first hour or two of gameplay for any new game that comes out. That's always been my whole ideal, except this time without doing the full series. So I want to apologize for that. I wish I could kept it going, but unfortunately, like I said, I don't have the time. But I'm still gonna try my best to at least upload the newest games that are coming out, and so you guys kind of see the first like hands-on experience with me, kind of share it. And if it's something you like, and maybe you go buy it out for yourself and find out. Or you could also look up at other YouTubers who do these kind of things, the whole gaming walkthroughs. There's plenty of them out there. So I'm just trying to do a bit of an introduction to see if it's something that's up your alley or not. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think how this whole thing started, to be honest. It just kind of went from a little side project, then kind of invested my time and energy into it, and next oh crap, people are actually subscribing. I was so nervous at first. I still remember when I told the closest people I had, and it felt so weird, trying to talk to myself in a way, trying to talk to an imaginary audience that I don't even know what kind of feedback they're going to give me. There's a lot of pressure, and it was pretty overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times I stressed out for little things of keeping the schedule. What should I upload? How much time do I have? I would sleep late. Sometimes I would cut off people that I would normally hang out with or play online with. So yeah. Anyways, what you're seeing right here is just a preview of all the games I've ever bought. Obviously, some that I've gotten through PS Plus, because I'm mainly a PlayStation user, even though I do have uh Xbox Series X and Nintendo Switch and a PC. you know but I did my best, and I sorry couldn't deliver. Anyways, this is me just kind of scrolling down through all the past games that I've freaking purchased, and most of these I've actually played, and a lot of them were kind of I tried it, didn't like it, oh well. Still supporting developers and their games, because obviously there's a lot of hard work. Just because it's not my taste or my forte doesn't mean I'm gonna cast it aside and hate on it, because it's not like that. It's not always like that. Sometimes it takes me weeks, months, maybe years to go back to a game that I'm why the hell did I not play it? It was really good. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the update. um I don't know what else to say other than thank you, and also to those who I featured on my channel, Hunter Killer, Killer Cloud, Taco Stew, Odie, Ray Ray, Dopesky Lady, Dick Filet, and whoever else I might have forgotten. Thank you so much for actually contributing to my channel and making the experience so much more fun. And trying to abide by my rules of how my recordings work, because that takes a lot. Anyways, you guys, let's jump back, see what games I played this year, because there's actually a lot, which is why this video is so long, and I try to get little snippets of each game. So here we go. Let's check it out. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Man, this game took me a long time, and I didn't even get to 100% it. But it was fun, except, you know, no doing all the side stuff. Now this one, what is this one? I think this was the new one, Call of Duty. I forget which Call of Duty it is. I liked it though, except I didn't like the fact that you have to, like, you know, do like the missions in a weird way. Crash Bandicoot, man. I remember playing this as a little kid and I never passed it because I was dumb. And man, obviously going back to it, it was fun until like until I got stuck in the end. I just wanted to rage quit as well. Jesus, I can't believe how long it took me to beat this game. Towards the end, like using all your abilities, that was crazy. I was like, hell no, there's just no way I'm gonna do this. But I did it, despite it all. Oh, Destiny. Ironically, this is the game I've played the most. I think I checked my profile not too long ago, and I believe I have about 2,500 hours invested since Destiny came out. From Destiny to like the DLCs, Destiny 2 and DLCs, I've played through most of the campaign. I did most of the beginning raids. Now I'm just kind of behind, and there's so much going on with Trials of Osiris and all this other like PvP, PvE crap that I just don't keep up. It's overwhelming, to be honest. But it was fun. I miss my friends, now that I think about it. As for this one, Destruction All-Stars, man, this one bummed me out because I was so like super hyped and into this game when I first played it. And then I found out that I had no audio, like my audio got corrupted for my voice. I was like, what? I was like screaming and like, you know, being super hyped and excited. And I was like, Dad, did you guys see that? And, you know, in the end, it was just nothing but the gameplay and its audio footage, which sucked, but oh well. Which one's this one? Honestly, I feel like this game had so much potential. I forgot what it was called. It was based on that board game, Dungeons and Dragons. There you go. I mean, when I saw the trailer, I was like, damn, this game's freaking cool. Like, actually looking forward to this. I want to like hit up like 3 more of my other friends to actually try to play it together. But I just couldn't get into it after I did the introduction and all that stuff.
A deadly archer.
I just couldn't do it. You know, I tried, and it's just, it had too many glitches, so much stuff that bugged out, and no matter what I did, I just couldn't get it down. Like, I just couldn't enjoy it. You know, I'm not gonna tell my friends to buy a game that I can't fully enjoy, because, you know, it sucks. I mean, not to bash on the game, but it just sucks because like it wasn't a game that was, I guess, well redefined, you know, for launch. And yeah, I had a bad experience, but who knows now? Maybe it's better. Maybe I could go back to it. But we'll see how that goes. That's like somewhere down the line later in the future. But we'll see. See, how do you not want to play this game when you look at like all that freaking cinematic and action going on? The battlefield. Oh, the bloody battlefield. Oh no. Final Fantasy. No, this game, man. I never got to play the original Final Fantasy when it came out on like the PS1, I believe. Well, I don't know if it came out on other consoles, but I just know it from PlayStation 1. Yeah, I just wasn't fortunate enough, and even then, I was a dumb little kid. Like, there's no way I would be able to play such a game. Like, I barely even managed Pokemon, you know, on my Game Boy. But this game, when I replayed it, actually no, when I played it for the first time, remastered to this extent, I was like so blown away, and I loved it so much. Like, this is one of those games where I already had passed it on my PlayStation 4 when I first got it, and then when I heard it was remastered, you know what, I'm gonna hop on this. Oh man, Ghost Runner. This game was nothing but pain. I had so many issues playing it. Like, I mean, first I didn't have the proper updates, and the stuttering, the frame rate lag, and just the game itself was pretty damn hard. It was fun. I love the soundtrack, but that's about it. And eventually rage quit. But I did pass it, so kudos to me, right? Now Godfall. Let's go back to Godfall. I don't even have enough time to explain everything. I have so much to say about each game. That was fun with my girlfriend. Then obviously coming down to like Halo. This was a pretty fun adventure. It's the first Xbox game I think I did for my channel. Thanks to the help of Hunter, we actually like kicked some butt. But even then, like, it was just nice kind of going down like the nostalgic like feeling of having it that we used to play this back in as kids, you know? Maybe not even kids, just teens, young teens, you know? Young dumb teens. Back when you would like sit together in a small TV, probably like a 24-inch, and then split it in half, and both of you like squinting, like almost kissing the screen, trying to see. Not you guys, just me. Oh, okay. Now Hitman 3 was pretty good, I guess you could say. But I suck at these games. I suck at stealth when it comes to this specific game. Like, I don't have like the creativity that I do when I play other games to do stealth. For some reason, I just suck at this one. And, you know, like, I just can't. I wish I could, but I can't play this game. I just don't get it. As for this one, what about this one? I think this one I liked a lot because of the dialogue. It made it so much like more interesting to play. It was more appealing. But in the end, it also got super hard that I ended up kind of rage quitting. And eventually came back to it and passed it. All about the gods and stuff. Freaking funny, man. I like this guy. This was a cute one. It's a shame that I haven't gotten around to finish it. It's just, it's so hard when like my girlfriend is busy and we started it together. So it's one of those things where I kind of wait on her, you know? So hopefully one day we get to finish it. Oh man, Marvel's Avengers. The first series I ever uploaded on my channel. The worst as well. Horrible audio, horrible video quality. And honestly, it's so cringe for me. Like, damn, I can't believe this was my first series. I was such a noob. I didn't know anything about YouTube world.
Fisk.
Now, Spider-Man Remastered. Man, I love this game. I waited so long just to replay it again. And then when I got released with like the Miles Morales, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna replay this game for my channel. I don't even care. I just love this game. Spider-Man's like my favorite superhero of all time, you know? Why would I not want to play it again? But yeah, this was super dope. Super dope. Look at that. How cool would it be to be Spider-Man, you know? Now here we are jumping to like the Miles Morales, which basically has the next gen graphics and everything. I think by this point I decided to upgrade my capture card because the old one that I had was a Razer. And it wasn't doing it justice because I wanted to play this in 4K, but yet that would go up to like 1080, and I was like, oh man, you know. So I was like, okay, time for me to invest and buy myself Elgato with like the 4K HD 60 plus something. I forgot what it's called exactly. I just have it installed in my PC. And I'm like, okay, and that's when I hopped over to that. And look at that. What a huge difference. It's so beautiful, you know. The graphics show like you don't see like that drop down in resolution. And obviously, we still went back to Minecraft no matter what. You know, this is an all-time like favorite game to play on your free time. Why not? It started off as just like an experiment, but then eventually Hunter and I really got into it and we started building our own place. And even now it's on hold. It's a series that just takes too much time because it's like we could play for like 4 hours, but realistically we'll probably show like 30 minutes of, you know, like footage. As for Mobile Gundam, this is the kind of game I don't play. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't play this kind of game. I'm not into them because 1, it's multiplayer. 2, I like Gundam, but I never saw like actual Gundam anime or collected the Gundam things. So, you know, there goes that. Pokemon Snap. I still think up until this moment that Pokemon Snap, the original on the Nintendo 64, is the best one. I like how this looks, you know, like graphically, but I just didn't enjoy it as much. Soulstorm. I don't know about this game, just the characters themselves creep me out, and I tried to get into it, but I never played any of the other ones in my childhood. So, you know, there goes that. As for Outriders, now this one was pretty cool. I actually enjoyed this one a lot. Just because 1, it was co-op. 2, I had Hunter join me on this adventure. And then, obviously, he went under my girlfriend's account, which was Killer Cloud. But still, he was in it with us, you know? But I think the best part about this was being able to level up and get your own skill trees depending on what kind of build you're making for your character, and that made it super fun, especially when you find those good little hacks. Pokemon Unite is still one of those games I play on and off, you know, when I can with Odie and Ray Ray. It's pretty fun, especially when you're playing a team, and I can't get enough of it. I know you can play it now on mobile, but I mean, I prefer the Switch personally. But hey, you should check it out. It's pretty fun, especially with all the updates and new Pokemon being added. As for Ratchet and Clank, here we go again, testing out the PlayStation 5's like, next gen features and power. Which it's funny because like I feel like it's still a PS2 game, just definitely graphically revamped, because it stays true to itself. I mean, the last one I played was Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, but damn, like comparing that to now, what a huge difference. Jesus, there's like a huge gap of years.
Restoring safety and stability to
Oh,
various
Resident
regions
Evil
around
5.
the globe.
Okay, now this one I could never go wrong with it. I think in my playthrough or walkthrough was actually with Odie, but technically I played this game so many times that I lost track of who I played it with. It's just one of those, like, I get it, it's over the top, it's not a Resident Evil, it's not as scary, but the co-op of it just was so fun. Now we jump over to Resident Evil 8 Village, where it's like a solo single player first camera person. And you're like, oh crap, this is still freaking terrifying, and it's a whole different vibe. But honestly, what I loved about this game was the fact that they brought back like that whole aesthetic that Resident Evil 4 had. Obviously it wasn't the exact same, but like I just like the whole weapon and upgrades and like, how to call it, roaming around. I mean, I wouldn't say freely roaming around, but still you had some freedom. So it's kind of like the Village part, it's kind of linear, but in a sense gives you a bit of like freedom to roam. I still don't know why Chris, like ended up there. It's crazy. As for this one, oh man, I don't even want to talk about it. Returnal, Jesus. This is that game that I just quit. I think this is the only game in my channel that I actually stopped playing because I just couldn't pass it. At first I was alright, cool, it's a little fun, crash land, try to wander around, see where you could go. But then once you die, you restart, you're like, okay, alright, I messed up. Let me go get some better weapons again. Let me kill these enemies that's gonna spawn over there. And they're like, wait, hold on, they didn't spawn here. Wait, hold on, why is this a different layout? Hold on, why is this a different way? What's going on? Where are my weapons? Hold on, am I starting from scratch? And then eventually you realize that, if you die, it does help you realize that you shouldn't die. Because if you do, you're basically gonna start all over. So I kind of sucked it up a bit and kept going through with it. But then eventually, I think once I got to like the second or third boss, I just didn't want to deal with it no more. Like I tried, and then obviously I have other games coming out that I can't even leave it in rest mode, because if I do, then I just have to really dedicate to pass this game, and I just didn't have that kind of time back then, which is why I never got far and why I dropped it. But maybe one day I'll go back to it. Oh, now this one, this is an all-time classic for me. Shadow of the Colossus holds a special place in my heart. Back in middle school, I'm pretty sure I told this story already, but back then I wanted to buy this game so bad from my friend's brother, but he was kind of being a bit of a douchebag and he didn't want to sell it to me. All I could scrounge up was like about $16-17 in just change, like quarters, dimes, pennies, everything I could find of like maybe $1 or so. And yeah, he didn't want to sell it to me. Even his mom told me to just sell it to me, that they would buy him a new copy, but he just didn't want to. He was very like nah. And in the end, I told my parents and they ended up buying it for me. I think at that point it was already like a PlayStation 2 greatest hits. Couldn't buy like with that black like label on top, just said PlayStation 2. Star Wars Squadron. Okay, now this one was very hard to actually enjoy, just because I feel like the whole piloting was so confusing. Temtem. This is one of those games that I didn't expect a lot from, but it's actually pretty fun. The only problem is that it's trying so hard to be like Pokemon that it's not Pokemon, so it's trying to be unique, and memorizing like new Temtems and moves and elements, it was just a pain in the buns, and I'm still struggling, but I hope to finish this series with Taku Stu. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. I never really played a lot of the Legend of Zelda games, and honestly this is one of those that I just wanted to try out. I don't know if it's the best one. I mean, the only one I do remember playing was Ocarina of Time and what's that other one, Majora's Mask. Here we go with Watch Dogs Legions. This game, it started out fun, I'm not gonna lie, it was fun at first, but then eventually the whole concept of like recruiting people and gaining their skills and be able to swap back and forth, it was kind of pointless for me because I'm someone who just likes sticking to one specific character, which is kind of bad sometimes because maybe I should actually try other people, you know, for their abilities and for their skills and see what they offer, but plus the glitches. Werewolf. This one, I love the cinematic, I'm not gonna lie, the wolves, that's freaking badass. The only problem was that the game felt like a PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 type of game released in PlayStation 5. The gameplay was kind of like rigid, wasn't all that great for me. It was like very old school. I guess you could say it just wasn't my type of game, you know? Oh, now Yakuza Like a Dragon, here we go. This one was freaking awesome. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. The cinematics were freaking dope. It's not what I expected when it came down to like the actual like gameplay of it. You know, the mechanics, it's like turn-based fighting, but the dialogue and all like the cutscenes just make up for it, honestly. You know, I wouldn't have expected anything from this because it's like, I never played Yakuza. I've always heard people talk about Yakuza games are so freaking amazing, but I never knew why. And you know, this happens to be the first one I ever played, and I was like, oh, now I understand. If only I would have started back then, you know, when the first Yakuza came out, you know, like I'm pretty sure all of this would have eventually tied in because I think technically this is a spin-off, but still, you know, like it's nice to stay relevant with like the main franchise. Look at that. Poor kid. Alan Wake. Okay, so Alan Wake is a game that came out years ago and I never played it. I mean, I think I did have the Xbox back in the day, you know, so I should have been able to play it, but I just didn't. And now that I heard that it got re-released, remastered for PlayStation 5, I was like, sure, why not? I'm pretty sure it's on other consoles, but this is the one I got it for. And it's actually pretty cool. I like the narration of him. You know, it's very creative. It's kind of old school. The controls feel a little wonky, so it felt weird for me kind of playing something new that's from back then. But damn, look at that. The lighthouse. I always think of Darkness Falls. Alien. There you go. Now this one, I started off solo and it was cool, but it kind of got boring. It's a little dull, especially when you have AIs as your friends or your buddies. They're kind of dull. But luckily for me, I hit up Taco Stu and he's like, yeah, I'm down. And what do you know? We ended up passing the rest of it together. It is a 3-player co-op game, but you know, we only went duels with it. Back 4 Blood is still a game I'm playing at the moment and I'm struggling so much to try to pass. Honestly, this game is harder than it seems. It is like similar to the Left 4 Dead vibes, you know? Look at that. All that action. I still, like, I have so many friends to play with, but we're all stuck in the same freaking checkpoint. As for Call of Duty Warzone, I was never good at shooter games, to be honest, especially when it came to multiplayer, which is why I always avoided them. But you know, every now and then you want to try something new, you want to play with friends because that's all they ever play, and you know, you gotta join them, I guess. Oh, here we are. Deathloop. This is a game I still need to go back to. I haven't had the chance to play it, and it was one of those that I was kind of scared because after playing Returnal, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do this kind of game where like if I die, I reset, restart, and do the same thing and hope that I don't make the same mistake. This one's actually a little more forgiving, which means I have a chance to actually pass it. Plus, I did play like Dishonored, so I should have like an idea of how it's gonna go down. Libertad. This is another game I'm currently playing at the moment. It's pretty cool. I love the co-op aspect. I've always liked the Far Cry series. My favorite one will always be Far Cry 3, no matter what. It's just all the tattoos, the skills, the freaking challenges for legendary animals that it offered, like the hunting, all that, the skinning. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound rude about it, but all that made it, you know, a unique game. And then we have Far Cry 6, which is still a bit of ways, but hey, still worth the fun. Hot Wheels. This is more like of a nostalgic trip, just because as a little kid I used to collect all the Hot Wheels toys. I don't even know what happened to them. I think I lost them. Now this one I always struggled. Is it Kena? Kina? I don't know. I never like really got down the pronunciation for her name. But anyways, I love the animation for this game. It just reminded me of a Pixar movie, you know, from Disney, and I was like, oh, I definitely want to play this. But It was fun at first, then it got super hard at the end. I just kind of rage quit it. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. But I still finished it. Now, here we have my other all-time favorite game to play over and over and over again. I lost track of how many times I played this game, you know, like literally just pass it, try to buy like the OP weapons, and leave it at that. And then when it gets re-released on a like newer generation, buy it, pass it, do the same thing. Like, I don't know, I've played this game so many damn times, it's crazy. I just love it. Like, Leon S. Kennedy is my favorite protagonist from like the Resident Evil World franchise, and Resident Evil 4 is clearly my favorite game because I've played it like through every single generation since it first came out. Now here we have the Medium. The Medium kind of caught me by surprise. I was not sure what to expect. You know, you see the cinematic, you're like, oh, this is more like a horror game. This is going to be a scary game for sure, you know, like a terror or something. I'm going to be mortified. But it wasn't that bad, honestly. It was more story-driven. It kind of like just reminds me of this other game, which I always blank out on. I don't know why I always blank out on that title. But it's more like of a cinematic, story-driven, you know, like cutscene-based of game where like you kind of like, it's pretty linear. You roam around a bit, you know, get all the puzzles done, and then boom, move on. And it's just all like in the narrative. And surprisingly, I actually enjoyed it. But there were some parts where I got stuck and I was just like terrified. Oh no, what's gonna happen? Find out on my channel, you guys.
I told you this was a
Alright, now this one, it seems a little irrelevant, but I just wanted to throw it in there because this doesn't really demonstrate what Lost Judgment is all about.
Hey, check it out.
I just wanted to leave it in there because it could be really gruesome. And as you guys could see from like the previous clip we got from Yakuza Like a Dragon, you saw the guy who got shot in the head and, you know, his head leaning back in the chair. Now here, we have a similar scenario, except it's not really just a gunshot. I think there's much more to it. And I think the realism behind it too is kind of insane. So, like I said, it's irrelevant to like Lost Judgment, like to like define what the game is about, because this is just like the tip of the iceberg. Look at that. You see this, how would you now want to play this game? Obviously, as a detective, you're gonna like want to find out what the hell is going on, who's torturing these guys, who leaves them like dead for that long, who breaks their freaking fingers like that and just lets them rot, you know? It's crazy, huh? Who would have thought? These games never disappoint, and especially for the story itself. Oh, here we go. What I don't understand about this is why was the campaign for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remastered, but yet they didn't do the freaking multiplayer? To me, I feel like this was the best multiplayer game I ever played. And this is also probably the last time I ever played a multiplayer for Call of Duty that I actually enjoyed. I don't know, I had so much like to it, you know? All the classes, the builds, the guns were pretty damn good. And I don't know, the maps were memorable. Just something about it. It was like the perfect Modern Warfare 2 for me. Oh well. But maybe in the future they'll release a multiplayer. So now I guess the campaign will do.
Let's do Clean Up Duty right here.
Ah, this one of the beginning like videos that I added to the channel. This is not me playing, obviously, it's actually Odie, but this is something that was like a bit of a life lesson learned because there was a lot of stuttering, a lot of audio quality issues, you know, where I didn't know how to like capture both our voices without sounding too far away or too close, or mixing our voices in the same freaking channel as the gameplay. So yeah, it was such a pain. As you could hear him, he's laughing.
Alright, ladies.
And here we are to Resident Evil 3, the remake, of course. The only problem I had with this game is that it was super short. I think it had a lot of potential, but they just cut down so much compared to the original. The original was more of a freaking pain though, because freaking, what's his face? Forgot his name already. Nemesis would not leave alone ever. Every single little turn, boom, he pops out. So in this game, it's a little more freaking, but compared to the original, Jesus, I hated that. It was something about it just makes it more scary, which is weird, you know, because it's a newer game. Because it's an older game, I guess you could say. Oh no, don't do it, Jill. Don't do it. Oh no. Fun series. Oh man. Oh, this is also another cringy one. Okay, so It's before I figured out how to work like making a 1080 and the 4K. Had to add Nintendo and Super Mario 64, so like I wouldn't have like the black bars there. Obviously, there was a lot of audio quality issues because there was 3 guys in one room playing and one control. And it's just, you know, a pain. But we did 100% it, so that's something, right? But that's pretty much it, you guys. That's all the footage I could find and like the files that I saved of all the games that I played throughout the start of my channel. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than thank you for your support, and I truly appreciate it. I really do. So I won't let my channel die off, but I hope you guys stick around to see what it becomes. Maybe in the future it'll go back to full walkthroughs. As of now, I need to cut down on it because, you know, gotta live life outside my channel, and maybe one day I'll be able to afford like my own editors, and then boom, we'll be back, you know. But as of now, it's gonna be a little more limited, but we're still gonna be around as long as there's games coming out and if they catch my attention as well. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do it for every single game because, you know, I'm not made of money. Clearly I'm not, which is why I don't have the free time. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much once again. I appreciate your support. I am gonna end it on a good note. So for those of you who stuck through till the end, you have my gratitude. For those of you who are new to my channel, I hope you like and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next series. Until then, take care.